Hey, Gremlin Gear. Today, I'm going to be going over everything. This video may seem a bit overwhelming to you, or it may answer all the questions that you need answered. So if you've been here for a while and you like this content, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Give the video a big thumbs up for me LARPing in my room right now. So the purpose of this video is I'm going to be going over the kit and how it all comes together. There are a lot of videos on YouTube going over plate carriers, chest rigs, pouches, etc. You've seen it all, I'm sure, just as I have. But really the real purpose of this video is to show how it all goes together and considerations that you need to make whenever you're building out your setup. So I'm going to be demonstrating this gear that I have on, along with another loadout or two, and show you guys how it should all make sense whenever you're planning on building out your system. There's no right answer to this stuff. It's all tailored to you. However, in my opinion, if you are a right-handed shooter, there are ways to set your gear up that are kind of universal so long as you're right-handed and you use things the same way that I do. So we're not going to be going over every single thing that I have on in this video, but we are going to be going over the essentials and the philosophy of how and why I have my gear set up the way that I do. Now there are limitations with every setup. What I'm wearing now is your more traditional slick plate carrier setup that I'm sure you've seen tons of videos on. This setup has its own pros and cons. What are the pros? Well, it's slick. What does that mean? It's very tight to my body. I don't have a whole lot of bulk going on here, as you can see sideways. I could maneuver very easily in and out of a vehicle in this, through rooms, through tight, dense situations like buildings or vehicles like I just said. There's very little bulk. There's also a bit of a limitation on what I can actually carry. In this case, ammo is limited. However, the cons of this setup may not be as clear as you may think. If you're building out gear for the first time, maybe you've never tried this stuff on to begin with, you may not understand all of the cons that come with a setup like this unless you have experience with it. And I've obviously subscribed to one nylon retailer before they turned to the dark side, so most of my stuff is from T-Rex Arms. Now, the cool thing is about this gear, first of all, I love the original AC1, I really do. I think it's a great carrier, and there's a couple reasons I'll go into for why that is. Also, most of these accessories are pretty cost effective. They don't cost a whole lot, and I believe there's a lot of value in some of these products. But I would say the biggest drawback is that unfortunately these slick nylon cells are very efficient with size, but they don't necessarily hold things the way that they should. Things are very liable to slip out. Essentially the only thing that's on here that fits perfectly are the 5.56 mags. I'm not too worried about these things sliding out. They have a good bit of retention, especially whenever the cummerbunds are engaged. Tourniquets, they're held pretty tightly, but re-indexing is a huge problem. Re-indexing mags, like I said, not the worst. Re-indexing tourniquets is kind of bad. And pretty much anything else that's not 5.56 mags, re-indexing things are hard. So just understand that is a limitation of this setup, especially accessing your radio and accessing anything over here on this side, which I'll get into. But let's talk about kind of the meat of this video, which is where do I need to put my things when I'm building out my gear, when I'm building out my system for the first time? Ammo, your mags, your radio. To me, that's an essential piece. You may not always use it, but you need to have space for it. Medical equipment and water. Well, for a system like this, it's actually very straightforward because with the plate carrier, there's only so many places that you can hold things. Let's just get right into it. Your ammunition. With the plate carrier, I believe pretty much you always want to have your mags right out in front of you. A triple mag placard, we've all seen them. We all know them. We love or hate them, whatever. Keeping your mags out in front of you is the most effective way to actually get to your mags whenever you need them. It's very quick. Very easy. I don't have to worry about reaching all the way over here. I've seen people set them up on the sides. And if you're gonna train that, sure, I just don't recommend it. There's also some arguments for going into the prone position and you're not crushing other items. You're just laying on your mags. It makes it easy to get down. But besides that, what needs to go on either side? This is going to go into really what you want to carry. I'll show you what I carry. Like I said, since this is a slick setup, I'm going into the bare minimum what I'm carrying. So besides the 3 mags, I also want to prioritize my medical equipment next pretty much. The way I have that set up, I like to keep 2 tourniquets on my body. So you can see the cool thing is with this T-Rex Arms placard, I have them set up really nice on both sides. They're pretty easy to access, and that's pretty much the end of the story. There are smaller nylon cells inside of this shingle that I have mounted here, and I can fit both my tourniquets in here. I just keep it simple. I keep them inside next to my mags. It's done. Then, and the reason I really do like this product is because it has a large medical pouch over here on the side. I'm sure you've seen it. The biggest con to this setup and these nylon cells though, if I haven't already mentioned it, pretty much if you don't have a strap or a tie down for this stuff, it's gonna come out of the cell. It's all slippery. And so this will actually push up and out very easily. That's why I have on my other side my radio. Okay, now I always keep my radio on my left side. That way, if I have my gun, I'm gonna have my push-to-talk over here on my left side. It's not in the picture today because I am actually having to get a replacement. I broke my last one, so, well, it was falling apart before I got it. But anyways, I have my push-talk over here. That way it's never in the way of shouldering my rifle. Now, my radio is also going to be over here for simplicity and also for me to be able to access it. And as you can see, I have kind of made a bungee tie down for this thing that I just have wrapped around the cell. That way I can get the radio out, look at it, change the volume, change the channel, push it back in, and I don't have to worry about it flying out. But I've done lots of airsoft where I didn't have certain things tied down and I'm running through the woods or a building and stuff's just flying out of my pockets and I'm having to go back and get it. Super embarrassing. Don't let that happen. So I do think with the new T-Rex Arms carrier, they actually have bungee tie downs on both sides of the cummerbunds. I don't know if you want to buy from them anymore, but if you're going to buy a plate carrier, you're going to go this route, I would look for ways to strap down everything on the sides. I know you may not think that you might need it, and for some items, you don't. I'm going to go into those items, but I just want you to understand the reason I keep my medical back here is because honestly, I'm banking on I'm not really going to need to use my medical equipment. Worst case scenario, it's back here. But also, if I'm having to tend to somebody's medical needs, chances are I'm not going to have my rifle in my hands, or I'm going to have it slung somewhere where I can access this easily. I'm never going to have my gun in my hand and have to reach over for my medical necessarily. At least I don't think that I will. There's nothing wrong with me putting it back here. I have space for it. But to me, it just kind of balances everything on both sides. That's where I keep it. You also see that I have a water bottle over here. Okay, the only reason that I have that is just to show that you could store a water bottle if you believe in water with one of these 5.56 mag carriers. But the traditional thing that you've pretty much seen everybody do, you could just store an extra 5.56 mag, so you have a total of 4 on you. Whatever. But in this situation, I'm prioritizing my radio usage over my water. Reason for that, pretty much everything that I'm going to keep over here on my left side, which is my non-dominant side, so it's not going to have my rifle on it, is actually going to be stuff that I prioritize more and might need to get more access to. And that's pretty much the theme of this video. If you're a right-handed shooter, you should be putting items that you may need to access more over here on your left side. Now, I see people doing it on the right side, and I get it. Like, I'm right-handed. If you're right-handed, you have your stuff on the right side, you want to access it. But the way that I see it, if I have my rifle over here, it's blocking this right side. And sure, you can sling it to your left and then but this is just me. Turning over here is a lot less comfortable than just turning right here. I put my phone in my left pocket. And maybe that's a whole me thing. Maybe this is all just my preference. But this is the way that I set up my equipment. Like literally, I keep my phone in my left pocket. I keep all the stuff that I want to access really easy over here on my left-hand side. That way, if I'm shooting or have my rifle up, it's not in the way of it. Bouncing off of that, that goes the same for my light. Okay, I keep it over here on my left-hand side. So if I have my rifle out, I can still get to my light. I can still get to my night vision, which is actually the buttons on the left-hand side for that as well. I can access my light on top of my helmet. I can access my battery compartment. That's ambidextrous, doesn't matter. But just to show you, there are a lot of things that are set up for this left-handed access thing, so they could keep one hand on the fighting rifle. I'm gonna go into the belt very briefly. Few things on the belt. If you're building out your gear for the first time, I want you to understand you do not need a belt, especially if you're just focusing on prioritizing your rifle. Most of the time, I will not even run a belt. Reason being, the belt is strictly for all my handgun related equipment. Now, there are some people that do a lot of creative things with their belts. Some people build their belts out fully to be like a huge, like load-bearing piece of equipment, hold a lot of mags, like 2 water bottles, 4 mags, and maybe even some more GP items. Understand this, I'm 5'9", I weigh about 145 pounds, or maybe less. And if you're as small as I am, building on a belt is gonna be kind of hard. Reason being, you can probably already tell how close the belt is to the plate carrier and how items can already start kind of colliding with each other whenever you're rocking this thing. And I don't have this thing set up super high. I have this set up between my hips right here, my pelvis is right here, so the belt's just kind of sitting in between those two things. Where I would like bend over and squat, okay? I'll throw it back for you guys. You kind of see where the belt rides. This is comfortable for me, all right? But just understand, whenever you start packing your belt down full of weight, it's going to slow you down. And I know a lot of people who do that usually rock suspenders. This video is not really about belts, but I will show you, if you're a right-handed shooter, you obviously want to have your pistol mag set up on your left side, right? So you can hit your super fast reloads. And besides that, I have a medical pack on the back. It can be used ambidextrous. And besides that, guys, I have a holster and that's it. I keep the belt super simple. I literally try to make it, yeah, I get to hold a little extra medical, sure, but I don't rely on it. I have one on my kit. I have one in my backpack too. And besides that, it just holds my gun. Just understand, if you start adding a bunch of stuff to your belt, it's gonna really complicate everything going on up here. And if you're talking to me, I like doing things on my left-hand side so I can access it easily. But like I was saying, if you're a small guy like me, you'll actually realize you have a lot less space and real estate on your belt compared to bigger people. Reason being, you're way smaller. There's less circumference there. So if you see a really big guy and he's got all this stuff on his belt, and then you're trying to cram all that stuff and you realize this ain't working for me, it's probably because of your size. And so for me, I don't really prioritize keeping stuff on my belt because my waist ain't that big, y'all. My waist is not that big. That's why for me, chest rigs are kind of my go-to. So without further ado, let's get into the chest rig. All right, everybody, time for my favorite part of the video, the part where I get to take the plate carrier off. So I like chest rigs a lot more for many reasons. Biggest one is get to hold more stuff. Second one is it holds stuffs better, better. Third reason, I'm not sweating my ass off anymore. Okay, so we're over to a chest rig now. What's changed? So I'm going to make a whole video about why, if you're just getting into gear, you need to go with chest rigs over plate carriers. I'm gonna leave that rant for the next video. But understand that not a whole lot of stuff has changed. First of all, I get ammo, but I keep that ammo in the same spot. Right in front of me, oh, I skipped one. So I've got 6 mags now, all out in front of me, all over here to this left-hand side where I can access it easily with the rifle. You know, if I can keep ammo away from this side, I try to keep it more on the left-hand side, because like I said, I'm shouldering a rifle. the rifle's blocking this. I don't want to necessarily be cross-bodying that stuff unless I absolutely have to. On the plate carrier, sometimes I'll make an exception and keep a mag over here, only because I have to keep my radio on this side. There's no scenario where I hold a radio on this side. Since we're on it, radio is a nice home right here. Okay, this is the T-Rex Arms quad flap chest rig. I love this chest rig because it has a very nice integrated radio pocket right here. It's at a great spot. Now, I don't have my push-to-talk for this video because I broke it last weekend, but ordering a new one, it's on the way. And I will always keep it on my left-hand side. That is because, okay, I'm shouldering my rifle over here. I'm not gonna have a push-to-talk on the same shoulder that I shoulder my gun on. So, what else do we have going on? Well, we have an addition of some different looking pouches, but they serve the same purpose. I forgot to mention on the plate carrier, if I have GP items, I will keep them in that front pouch that is gray. Although I keep it very, very minimalist. I usually won't carry like any fragile items, and for the purpose of that rig, for that plate carrier, I really won't need to have any like big delicate items such as a rangefinder, which is in this pouch right now. Because if I go prone, might smash it, whatever. I'll keep some extra batteries in there, maybe some small items I need access to really quick. But that pouch stays pretty slim down and empty. I can add stuff in there if I need it. If you're gonna carry GP items, a pouch like that is super sweet. It's the right size, it's slim, and it fits right in front where you can just access it easily. You don't have to be bending your body. So it's a little bit of a con. I do have to bend my body a little bit to get over here and get in this pouch, but it's on my left-hand side. I told you guys I like things being on my left-hand side. Why? Look where my gun is. It's still on my right side. I still actually have my finger or my hand on it, not on the trigger, but I can have my hand on it, and if I need to really quickly, I'm just right back to it. So that's just me. What will I keep in here? Usually a variety of different things, but my rangefinder pretty much does live in this pouch, and I'll keep it a little bit empty just in case I need to add anything else. But besides that, I do have extra ears, a battery pack, a lens cleaner, all that stuff over here. This isn't a full gear review, but just to show you this is where I'm keeping my stuff, is on my left-hand side. So my medical stuff, I said I always keep it on my right-hand side, and that didn't change. Okay, I like multi-purpose pouches. I think you know this if you've been watching this channel. So I keep them all over here in a canteen pouch because all of my medical equipment. Now I know the ambidextrous tourniquet argument kind of goes out the window, right? Because I carry both tourniquets and all my medical equipment in this one pouch. Might trigger some of you guys. For me, it keeps things very, very simple. I'm banking on not needing to use my medical stuff. Maybe that's a bad assumption, but I just keep it all over here. It keeps it out of the way, it keeps the bulk out of the way. And remember how I was saying with that plate carrier, we're gonna keep everything strapped down. Notice how everything is contained with a zipper, a Velcro, a buckle, or a, bad example, a tie down of some sort. Okay, this pouch is a lot better. It's not gonna, I've never had my radio just fly out on me with just the way this pouch is. You can see re-indexing is kind of a pain. I'm like flexing my whole body right now, probably digging straight, or probably talking right into that mic. Get the fuck back in there! Okay, that's why you never want your radio to come out. Now I'm sweating. So those kind of GP tools, I will normally, with a rig like this, if you're running 4 mag pouches, unless I absolutely need to run 8 mags, I'll run 7, okay? Last mag's in here, and I still have my flashlight and my multi-tool right next to each other. And yeah, they move all the way over here because realistically, if I'm gonna get to one of those items, I'm probably not fighting, okay? I don't wanna keep them all the way over here and take up this precious mag real estate where I could have these quick draw mags. You know, this is one of your fastest reloads is over here, I would argue. So I push the tools all the way over here on the other side. Look at this M81 Woodland drip. Absolutely drippy. Guys, I could go into it a little bit more. I'm sure you've seen my tap panel, my FLC. I literally have them all set up the same. I have usually like 2 canteen pouches set up on both sides, and they swap out medical and water and GP items, and then usually some form of a night vision pouch. Now, the reason that I recommend Surplus so much is because Surplus tends to always have more space, more real estate. If you're going to dress for the infantryman role, you really want a lot of space on your chest rig. You don't really want to have to worry about your backpack so much. If you're going to be fighting, you might not even have your backpack on. And if you are, it might be a small assault style backpack. And if you are, it's probably going to be something like this small assault style backpack, which even then you don't necessarily want to put like your night vision in here and keep it in there all the time. You might want to keep water. This can be a good spot for water, but if you lose the backpack, if you ditch it, okay, now your water's gone. The assault pack can be good for a lot of things, and it is essentially a huge GP pouch. All right, I don't recommend back panels because you can't take back panels off and get into them. Back panels are for something else and other people. Usually not for you if you're watching this. You probably know that by now. Smaller assault style backpacks are the way to go. But for items like 1 canteen, medical equipment, and like special tools like night vision, you really want to keep that stuff on your gear as much as possible. So the reason I recommend Surplus, you can already see with this rather large civilian style chest rig, I'm already out of space. Like I could turn this into a night vision pouch, yeah. But then I have all my medical in one spot, and it already takes up a ton of space. I can't carry a canteen now. I could replace some mags and put a 16-ounce water bottle in here, sure. But you already see how limited I am on space. So understand this, all this stuff, there's a lot that you have to cram a lot of stuff into some small space. All right, if you're a bigger guy, maybe you can fit some of that stuff on a belt. Maybe you can fit some water bottles. Maybe you're only gonna wear your medical equipment on your belt. You can do whatever you want. None of those are bad ideas, but honestly, I'm gonna be running a chest rig, guys. I don't even want this on. I don't even want my pistol. I literally just want to be light, fast, quick. I can already move around a little bit easier, and I want everything on my chest rig, and I just want a good fighting rifle. So I hope that guides you a little bit. I hope my woodland drippiness doesn't scare you. And I have some dad advice for you at the end of this video. You saw me wearing a plate carrier a minute ago. Chest rigs are a lot easier. This is still a lot of weight. This is still a lot of stuff. I want you to understand, gentlemen, if you're not getting in the gym and you're not training and you're not pushing yourself in some way, you're not doing cardiovascular activities, you're going to die, or you're going to wish you were dead. So, in any event, whichever one, you need to be getting in the gym, boys. Lift weights, but also build your cardio. Get in shape fast if you have to. But kill the dead weight, get strong, get to where you can actually fight with this stuff on. Find a place near you to play airsoft with. If you have plates and if you think you can fight with them on, you should go play airsoft for a day with them on. I'll go ahead and tell you, in the summer in North Carolina, what I'm wearing right now is way too hot. This is more like a wintertime setup, what I have on right now. I would not wear this in the summer. I wouldn't even dream of it. I would die. I would simply die of heat exhaustion. I would have a heat stroke and die. So, we have lighter base layers for stuff like that. I always wear pants. I always wear pants in the woods. It's just, I don't care. I know it's hot. I'm never not going to wear pants in the woods. I always wear pants in the woods. But, like I said, kind of going on a little bit of a rant in my dad advice section, but you need to be physically fit to have any of this stuff work. This stuff looks cool. That's great. If you're out of shape, you're simply not going to be able to use it. And if you want to get out of this stuff and you know you're out of shape, don't go get a plate carrier. Yeah, you might make yourself bulletproof for a couple of rounds, but I promise you, you won't be getting back up after you get shot if you survive. And chances are you're going to slow yourself down and exhaust yourself to the point where you will not be able to fight. I don't feel like people actually talk about how exhausting plate carriers are. People just talk about buying them and which ones to buy and blah, 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 blah. This is a great segue for my next video. So, in any event, guys, stay vigilant, be based, get in the gym, and I'll see you in the next video.